Okay, so you know that feeling when you walk into a hotel bathroom and everything looks shiny and perfect, like it just got scrubbed down for you? Yeah, not always the case. There are a couple of sneaky little things most people don't even think about. But once you know, you can't unknow them. And so today, we're going to be showing you a simple little ritual. Something to do every time you check into a hotel. It's quick, it's easy, and it just gives you peace of mind so you can actually relax and enjoy my stay. Many travelers have shared stories about how a simple hotel stay ended up making them feel really sick, and in a lot of cases, mold was the main culprit. For example, there was a story about two sisters who only stayed one night in what seemed like a perfectly fine hotel. The next morning, they said they both woke up with a bad cough, pounding headaches, and just no energy at all. Those are all symptoms that experts usually link to mold exposure, and even though they left right away, they explained that the side effects hung around for days afterward. Hotel staff have also mentioned running into the same problem. Some workers said they'd seen entire ceilings in guest rooms covered in mold, and after being around it for so long, they reported constant coughing, headaches, and nausea. Health organizations like the CDC back this up, pointing out that mold in indoor spaces can irritate the lungs, eyes, and skin, and for people with asthma or allergies, it can make their conditions much worse. And this isn't only happening in hotels. Families have had to move out of their own houses after mold took over bathrooms or damp basements. Public health experts explain that mold really thrives anywhere moisture builds up, so things like leaky pipes, poor ventilation, or just really humid weather can make the problem worse. The general advice is pretty simple. Fix leaks quickly, keep rooms well ventilated, and use a dehumidifier if the air feels damp. So even though mold might not sound like a big deal at first, these stories show it can definitely mess up your health and turn what should have been a normal night away into something you won't forget for the wrong reasons. Reddit. Hotel bathrooms are one of the most common problem spots when it comes to hidden health risks. It's not that every hotel is unsafe, but bathrooms create the perfect conditions for things like bacteria, mold, and sometimes even less expected concerns, from pests to hidden surveillance devices. What makes it tricky is that even if a bathroom looks spotless at first glance, the high turnover of guests means cleaning crews sometimes have limited time, so small areas can easily get missed. Experts have explained that bathrooms, by design, are damp and warm environments, which makes them ideal breeding grounds for bacteria. Pathogens like Clostridioides difficile, commonly called C. diff, or mrsa, can survive on hard surfaces such as handles, faucets, or toilet seats. Another concern is legionella, the bacteria behind Legionnaire's disease, which can build up in shower heads or even in poorly maintained air conditioning systems, releasing contaminated water droplets into the air. On top of that, mold tends to spread in grout lines, tile corners, and behind fixtures, especially in bathrooms where ventilation is weak. Researchers have also noted that surfaces in hotel bathrooms often carry traces of previous use. Studies, including one from the University of Houston, found that areas like light switches, remote controls, and bathroom faucets in hotels were among the most contaminated spots, sometimes harboring germs left behind by earlier guests. Even in higher-end hotels, there have been reports of contamination on commonly touched areas, which suggests that looking clean doesn't always mean being germ-free. The issue isn't necessarily about being overly cautious. It's more about being aware that hotels handle hundreds of guests every week, and with so many people sharing the same spaces, cross-contamination is always a possibility. Bathrooms, in particular, see constant moisture, frequent use, and heavy cleaning turnover, which makes them especially vulnerable to becoming hotspots for germs and mold. Okay, so how do you fight back? Travel experts often recommend having a simple pre-check routine when arriving at a hotel because even a room that looks clean can sometimes hide issues. The first step they usually mention is about luggage placement. Instead of setting bags directly on the bed or floor, many suggest putting them in the bathtub or on the luggage rack while you settle in. The reasoning is that these spots are less likely to harbor bedbugs, giving you a chance to check the room before your belongings are exposed. From there, people often talk about doing a quick inspection. Turning on all the lights helps, and using a phone flashlight makes it easier to check corners and less obvious spots. High-touch items are usually the biggest concern. Remote controls, for example, have been flagged in studies as some of the dirtiest items in hotel rooms, and that applies whether they're in the bedroom or, in some cases, in bathrooms with built-in TVs or radios. Wiping them down with a disinfectant wipe is a common precaution. Light switches are another place worth checking since they're touched constantly but aren't always cleaned thoroughly. Faucets and shower heads can also reveal signs of poor maintenance if they have visible buildup, discoloration, or mold around the edges. Some travel guides even recommend running the hot water for a minute or so when first using the shower, because stagnant water in pipes can sometimes allow bacteria like legionella to build up, especially in older plumbing systems. The overall idea isn't to treat every hotel stay like a hazardous situation, but to build a quick habit of checking common problem spots. That way, guests reduce their risk of running into bigger issues later while still being able to enjoy their stay. Also, do not stop at the obvious when giving a hotel room a once-over. Beyond the quick surface check, they suggest looking in places that aren't as visible but can reveal a lot about how well the room has been maintained. For example, checking behind and underneath fixtures like the toilet or sink can show whether there are leaks, water stains, or hidden mold. Lifting the toilet seat and taking a quick look at the base is another step that some travelers recommend, since black spots, peeling caulk, or a musty odor may signal a deeper issue. It's also common advice to peek inside or beneath the sink vanity. Cabinets in bathrooms often hide signs of water damage, and in some cases, pests that thrive in damp, dark spaces. A few travel bloggers even mention using sanitizing wipes as a sort of test swab, running them over faucets, handles, or counters to see whether they come back dirty or slimy. The shower area is worth attention too. Pulling back a curtain or sliding open a glass door makes it easier to see whether mold has collected in the tracks. Floor checks sometimes get overlooked, but they can be useful as well. Travelers have noted that feeling for loose tiles or overly slippery spots may prevent an accident later. The routine itself usually takes no more than 5 to 10 minutes, and frequent travelers say it can make the difference between a stay that feels stressful and one that feels safe. Now, what you see in a hotel bathroom is only part of the picture, and sometimes the bigger concerns are the things hiding just out of view. Black mold in grout lines is a common example. It thrives in warm, humid areas and, over time, can cause breathing problems if the spores are inhaled regularly. A simple trick people recommend is using a phone flashlight to shine into corners or crevices, since mold often shows up as fuzzy or speckled spots that aren't obvious under normal lighting. Another issue that tends to surprise travelers is that bedbugs aren't always confined to beds. In heavily infested rooms, they've been found in cracks around bathroom tiles, behind mirrors, and even near fixtures, so a quick look for small dark stains or discarded skins can be worthwhile. Safety specialists have also pointed out that hidden cameras, while not extremely common, have been discovered in hotels worldwide. They've sometimes been disguised inside everyday objects like clocks, smoke detectors, or even shower heads. To check, people suggest turning off the lights and using a phone camera to scan the room. Infrared light from a camera often shows up as a faint glow. Shining a flashlight across suspicious objects can also reveal a lens reflection, and there are even apps such as Hidden Camera Detector that can help identify unusual signals. Cleanliness concerns go beyond mold or pests. Researchers note that hotels, because of their high guest turnover, can harbor leftover traces of hair, skin cells, and bodily fluids that daily cleaning doesn't always remove completely. Viruses like norovirus, which is known for causing outbreaks on cruise ships, can also spread easily in hotels through contaminated bathroom surfaces. Public health guidance generally recommends that travelers use alcohol-based wipes or sprays on high-touch areas, since these can eliminate many of the microbes within seconds. If a guest does come across something concerning, travel guides usually advise staying calm and handling it step by step. The first thing is to document the issue clearly with photos or short videos, including the time, date, and room number. From there, the next move is to contact the front desk or call guest services, explain the problem politely, and show the evidence. Most hotels will either offer to switch rooms or send maintenance to resolve the issue quickly. In the case of bedbugs, experts recommend requesting a proper inspection and a thorough resolution rather than just a quick fix. If the response feels unsatisfactory, travelers are encouraged to escalate the matter to a manager or even corporate offices. Large hotel chains like Hilton and Marriott have established policies for handling such complaints. Only in rare and more serious cases, such as visible mold that is clearly affecting health, do guests end up involving local health authorities. What do you do if you can't switch rooms immediately? In a situation like this, the best approach is to take a few simple precautions until things are sorted out. The most common tip is to use sanitizing wipes on high-touch surfaces, like faucets, handles, switches, and counters, since that can reduce the risk of picking up germs left behind by previous guests. If the shower shows signs of mold or poor maintenance, it's usually recommended to avoid using it until it's cleaned, and opening windows for ventilation, when possible, can help keep the air fresher. Many frequent travelers say they pack a pair of flip-flops or shower shoes specifically for hotel bathrooms, since they provide a barrier against slippery or less than clean floors. Another common habit is holding off on fully unpacking until the issue is resolved, which makes it easier to move rooms later without worrying about contamination or pests spreading to personal belongings. In situations where conditions feel unsafe or uncomfortable and no immediate solution is offered, consumer advice often recommends booking alternative accommodation and requesting a refund. Platforms such as Booking.com, Expedia, and even major hotel loyalty programs generally have policies in place to support refunds or relocation if guests can provide evidence, such as photos or videos of the problem. Having that documentation can make the process much smoother. There you have it. Now go make that ritual yours. What's your wildest hotel horror story, or got any inspection tips? Drop them in the comments. Let's keep each other safe out there. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.